I'ma pull up praise and poppin' with my partner. And I'ma get we paid in all our daily mantra. And I'ma show 'em patience, always gave us honor.
See, these beings are outside of time. So the version of me you see now, that's what they seen when I was a kid. They was going after it. See, when you were born and you came out your mother's womb, a beacon of light got sent from your body. All the light and all the dark seen it, and in that beacon of light was all of your lifetimes.
Give you the sign like welcome to the last days. I'll be seeing you. Survival of the fittest isn't me or you.
And your consciousness projects itself in the lifetime that is going to maximize on completion of all your soul agreements. That's how it works. So if your consciousness feels like it can complete a lot of soul agreements in one particular lifetime and not this one, it's going to go to that one. So these beings are looking at him and be like, oh, where's his consciousness at? Or what is it projected to do? Or how many lifetimes of masters does he have? He only has 2. I bet. I'm gonna worry about him. But for beings like you, and for beings like this vessel, oh yeah, it got real. They said he grew up to be what? And how many lifetimes is he like this? Oh no, he got to go. From 7 to 13, I was astral projecting almost every single night. From 1 to 6, I was experiencing spiritual stuff, seeing ghosts, all of that type of stuff, because my whole family is spiritual. So they understood this is a high-ranking spiritual bloodline. See, as I said before, I should have been the one that said evil was real, but it's not. Because why? When I stopped believing and stopped fearing, remember I said stop believing, having faith, and start knowing. When I stopped believing and stopped fearing, they quite literally disappeared. How is that possible? Well, you must understand energetic signatures. The existence frequency, to even exist, to have that energetic signature of existence is hard. Some beings don't even deem you exist if you aren't at the 5th dimension, quote unquote. So all that basically means, in other words, is if you aren't resonating at a love frequency, these beings do not think you exist because you don't exist. See, this isn't information just coming from Nadiie. This isn't information coming from the mind. No, this is information coming from God. It's truth. So if you refute it, that's fine. I will meet you where you are, figure out why you said what you said, repurpose my words so we can bridge, because that's what makes a master. But no, on a foundation, evil is not real. Because the light beings that y'all pray to, the light beings that y'all revere, the light beings that y'all channel say it ain't real. They say, oh no, you don't even exist if you don't resonate at a love-based frequency. That's why we can interact with you. See, do you wonder, if you've ever wondered why angels don't come and materialize here, it's because there is no here in their eyes. The best thing the angels do is become etheric. Because when you're etheric, you can kind of see the illusion, but you only see an aspect of it. See, even in the ethers, illusion is more closer to truth than this realm. It's far more closer to truth than this realm in the ethers. So sometimes angels will go into the ethers because the ethers is a thought form realm. So if you have a miscreation thought, they'll just correct. And that's when it all started, like fully. I'm talking about I'm going into schools, complete crystal rooms, teachers, talking about deep stuff. I'm going in science rooms. They're teaching me about everything is alive in your body because you're a Christ being. When you spit, you must have intention. Because like they zoom, they told me to spit on a dish. I spit on the dish. They had the spiritual microscope, they zoomed into it, and they said there's an entire civilization of beings living like you and I in your spit because you're a Christ conscious being. You have to have intention with everything. No longer is, and this is, remember when I was in my older videos when I was saying, don't come to me and say God is not everywhere. Don't come to me and say God is not that deep. Don't come to me and say life is not that deep. Because life and God go hand in hand. God is everything. Quite literally. I got that from these galactic beings from the Galactic Federation of Light. They said take everything deep because God is in everything. You carry a reality with you of truth. So don't worry about the illusion. When you walk in a room of illusion, everything that is illusion dissipates and then the truth gets revealed. You carry God with you. You carry God's will with you. And I'm saying you for a specific reason because we are one. I'm learning. I'm going through many missions. Many missions. Saving children, to healing nations, to delivering babies, like E.T. baby. There's a whole lot going on. I get to the point where I'm like, I'm tired of going after these dark beings because I'm talking about we're in the front lines of war. We're doing a lot. And I was like, there has to be another way. There has to be a higher form of consciousness. So I went to the teachers and was like, is there any way that I can find an ultimate solution? And they was like, well, we was waiting for you to ask. You was doing great work here, but there's someone that wants to speak with you. Lo and behold, it was Yeshua. And Yeshua was like, are you really ready for this? And I was like, yeah. And me being so naive, because I didn't really know why he was saying that. But a little later on, I figured out it's because he said you literally have to leave everything that you know. I didn't know that. Yeshua was like, are you ready? I was like, yes. And then he was like, all right. And so it is. They don't ask questions. They don't try to, convince you otherwise. If you say yes, what they say is, and so it is. So then from that moment, I got put on the Christ trials. And our job is basically this. This planet is being targeted by so many beings because it's going to be the first planet in galactic history. And if it isn't the first planet, the other planets don't have names. That's why we're saying the first planet, the first known planet. That's what we can say. The first known planet in galactic history that's going to be entirely Christ consciousness. Typically what happens in certain planets is like a lot of civilizations individually as a collective will grow. When I was in the Galactic Federation of Light and I was doing all of these missions, there were some hideous things that we were seeing. And we went into realms where, like, you think the elites in Hollywood is bad. Imagine seeing the rituals firsthand and God is saying you have to be the one to stop it. And your spirit team that you came in with, you look back and they all, nope, you're the one. Stop it. We've dealt with some very, very wild stuff. So if anyone was to say evil was real, it should have been me, right? No. Why? Because I understand that to exist means it has a God's will energetic signature. For something to exist, it has to be in God's will. That's why you have to be very careful what you choose to see, because in this world, reality is based upon perception. Be careful what you affirm. These dark beings, they need you to see something to make it so. They just can't conjure up anything and say this is real. They rely on someone with God's will, the embodiment of God's will, which is you, to affirm something. So if you see war, if you see pain, if you see ratchetness, you're playing a part of their agenda because you're subscribing to their ideology, and reality is based upon perception. Therefore, now is real because God's seen it. Be careful what you see. So when I was walking in all of these astral realms, when all of these dark things was happening and I was guided to closed dimensions, yes, you have the ability to close dimension, but pretty much you have to be like a Christ conscious being, a Buddha conscious being, or just a being that resonates at pure love, perfect love, for you to do something like that. Because you can obviously tell how that can be taken in ways that does not serve. But in order for you to utilize these miraculous abilities, you have to look at it as God will look at it. You can't perceive evil. Like if you was to go to heaven right now and talk about there's so much evil on earth, it's like you doing that is essentially you being an English person and someone handing you a Japanese meal menu and says, read it, pick what you want to eat. You like, I can't understand this. I can't read this. That's how God is looking at you when you're saying I need help or there's evil around me. God is saying the only thing I can do is guide you to seeing as I see. And that's why I say one of the most powerful prayers, aka divine statements, is God, guide me to seeing as you see, or by my name I affirm the sight of God. And so it is. So understand, love trumps all because love truly exists. Be careful of what you say exists because you may not understand the weight that you're bringing into whatever you say is existing. Don't say evil exists because now you're putting evil and God on the same frequency, because existence is a powerful energetic frequency. Y'all may not understand it consciously, but your soul knows what I'm talking about.